Hey, hey, hey. What's up, y'all?
Hey,
This girl just Rhonda. What's up, T?
what's going on?
T was over here trying to fix her technical difficulties, and I'm
Hey,
guessing you didn't get
Elsie.
any cooperation. Hey, Elsid.
I did not. I can't even see anything. I don't like it.
You can't see
I can,
anything. What do you
I
mean?
can't see the chat.
Oh, you can't see the chat?
No. Can you see
Huh.
me still? Am I still here?
I can see you.
Okay. Well, I'm here.
Well, Elsid's here if you can't see the chat. And, while we get into the thing, maybe you could figure out that thing over there, y'all. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We want to get that out of the way. And, yeah. How was your Monday up until now?
Oh, it's very busy. Typical busy Monday.
But your baby's out of school. It should be a little
Oh,
more.
not my baby. We're still in school.
Y'all are still in school. Oh, the kids are
Yeah.
free down here, so there's no school happening around here.
No, he has another week. This is his last week.
Well,
But
last kind of
that
funny.
doesn't affect my job though. We're just
Right.
gearing up for summer camp. We started a new term today and summer camps start next week.
Is
We
he
just
going to
go from one
summer
thing
camp?
to the
He's going to
next.
football camp.
Huh?
I said he's going to summer camp or just football.
He I can only get him to agree to do percussion camp and then the rest is gonna be all football.
Get him to agree. That means it
Hmm.
requires some convincing.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. He's going to the fourth grade. He has to play an instrument. It is part of his requirement.
Mhm.
So it's part of the curriculum. You're going to either go to band or you're going to go into orchestra next year. So you might as well now pick something now that you want to play. You get the heads up over the other kids. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I don't have those problems. My kids are grown.
but don't come in with a tuba or nothing like that either.
Don't come in with
Don't come,
what?
don't come in my house with a tuba or a trumpet or something like that.
Some
Let's stick
enormous
with the
thing you need
drums.
to carry around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we weren't here last week, but we here this week, and the week been busy for these housewives. Things going on. The reunion was taped. So, what do you think about this lineup they got here? This is not what we had talked about. I don't even understand it.
I don't understand why Shamia's on the other side of Andy.
Right. It should definitely be Drew.
Definitely, Drew.
I
That
was thinking,
none of this makes sense, and it's just messed up because the people aren't getting along, so we got them on different sides of the couch. Is that why Shamia and Portia is not next to each other?
why is Phaedra all the way up in the second spot when she wasn't even here the whole season?
She should definitely be where Drew is.
If I were going to redo the
Definitely
chart
at the
where it
end.
made sense for me, it would definitely be not Portia or Shamia. It would be Drew
No,
and Angela,
Angela, correct,
and then Portia
correct.
and Shamia, and
Yeah,
then Kelly and Cynthia. What is he doing on the
no,
thing?
I don't know because they didn't have Britt.
Because Britt
Because
didn't.
Britt would definitely be lined up with Kelly.
Yes.
And then it would be Cynthia and Phaedra at the end. If we gotta have them.
I just hate that they pick their fave and that's who gets to be like if it's supposed to mean something. They keep saying it means nothing, but it means something.
It means
Because that's
something.
the stories they gonna get to. What is Shamia gonna talk about?
Drew, same thing. Portia gonna talk about Drew. Their whole storyline was Drew.
So then they need to scooch her up to the front. That don't even make sense.
Mm-hmm.
If I was Drew, I would have brought my fingernail file and be like, "Oh, y'all was talking about me because clearly,
Horrible.
Well, and then your girl Brit, she didn't.
Girl.
I feel like, much like Teresa over there in New Jersey and various other housewives. I say Teresa because her and her husband took turns going to jail. But I feel there's a lot of mystery around Brit and what her husband does. And then she came over here being fake rich, and it probably didn't make sense for them to keep talking before people start digging into what's really going on over there.
Brit and her fake husband.
Yeah, like if she would have came to the reunion, they would have started addressing her finances. Like the whole Kenya thing is gone. It's in the past. We don't care anymore. Even though we trying to still talk about it, but that's over. So if she would have been to the reunion, she would have had to talk about how those people over around to that golf course country club made her and her husband pay for all that grass they tow up with them shoes, and how decorators and event planners and things are suing her for, you know what I mean? She's got things going on for pretending to be rich.
She didn't come to the reunion because she didn't. Yeah, she knew she was about to get called out. She knew she
Exposed.
was gonna about. She know when she watched it, it didn't look good the way she thought it was gonna look. Even with the whole Kenya situation, it didn't look on camera the way that it was explained to us prior to watching the season. And then when everybody watched the season, because when we first heard about it, we was like, "Now,
That did not
Kenya."
happen.
Yeah. And then when we seen it, we was like, girl, this girl is obsessive. And she didn't like the way she looked on there. So she didn't want to have to explain none of that.
At all.
None of
She
it.
looked a mess with her bare naked.
Hmm.
Like there's a lot of holes in all of her stories. And without Kenya, then there's nothing else to focus on except for the holes in all the stories that she keeps telling.
Because we got questions. She just ain't prepared to answer nothing. So she just didn't come.
Well,
If
now she's
Anthony would have
suing
asked the
Bravo.
right questions, I still feel like he shouldn't be the one doing the reunions because I feel like he don't ask the right questions. His questions are still based on who he like. Like he really ain't finna cut into Portia the way
Portia.
he should.
No.
Yeah, he's
And
not.
I don't feel like Andy watches, not just the black ones. I don't think he watches the housewives at all. I think Angie looks at the blogs, Andy looks at the blogs and sees like what the people are saying, and he might, do a little cliff notes in the situation, because based on the questions that he asks, it's always like, well, they already resolved that. So, and like you
Yeah,
said,
she just
going
don't.
easy on his face. Portia came over here and brought absolutely nothing. So what are we gonna talk about? Like you said, Drew.
Yeah. Instead of talking about the real story, her and Simon.
Her and Simon, which is why she was supposed to. I'm back. Portia Gabadia is back. No, you're not, Gabadia.
Hmm.
So, and not Angela, Edie. Edie is over here suing Bravo.
Edie said I want her. It wasn't me.
She says she not suing Bravo.
Yeah, she said she is. She said that video
Oh,
was
I
not
mean,
her.
it
That
don't matter. We
picture
didn't see it anyway. So what are you
wasn't
suing about?
her.
We saw nothing. And I went back today and I looked
Because
at it again, and I was like, we
she
saw
said
nothing.
that they she said that they led her to believe that the picture was of her and they didn't let her see the picture. So when she just recently seen the picture 2 years damn near later, then she realized it wasn't her. Oops, my bad, Kenya. That wasn't even me after all.
Yeah, but you admitted to having a picture out there where you was over there serving up one of your boyfriends or something. So it could have been you.
Girl, you clearly, yeah, yeah, you knew. It's enough out there that you just assume like, oh damn, they got me.
They got
They
me.
got me.
You got webcam stuff, and we saw none of it. So it don't matter. Like, and you stayed there and you continued to, pat your tears away about how you were embarrassed and lost your license. Like, there's a lot of lies that she's not going to be able to, follow up.
So that's my whole thing. If it wasn't you, so how did you almost lose your license now? What you, I called bullshit on that in the beginning. How did you almost lose? Cause they saw it. Cause if some who saw, why would you finna lose your license? None of that makes sense.
She says she doesn't want Bravo to air that particular episode, and I'm like, that ain't even what made you look bad. What made you look bad was all the things you did. That part right there didn't even make you look bad. It made Kenya look bad.
Yeah, yeah, because everybody was like, "Damn, Kenya, why you do that at your own event?"
That's your
Like,
thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Nobody was saying anything. Nobody thought what Kenya did was right. So nobody was not on your side when it came to that.
you
Doesn't
shouldn't
make
want them to air the episode that you talking about you had bullets for her. That's the episode you shouldn't want them to air.
She was just playing.
Don't
She
make
didn't
no
mean any
sense.
of that. She don't even remember saying that.
She
I
said
feel
she
like
had
she
whips and guns.
is, broke and she's doing broke shit, like suing a network that has way more money than she could even imagine. I don't feel like she can afford attorneys, and I think that her plan is to just get Bravo to settle so she can, she's not looking to get 20 million. I think she's looking to get them to pay her to go away.
Child.
They didn't pay
She
Nene to
needs
go
she
away.
need the money because she didn't move this mama in with her because her mama didn't lost the house and now she trying to get her put out the house. But she didn't come up with this whole lie talking about, her mom is
Trying
moving
to
in
get
to
her
help
mother
her
put
and all
out.
of this. Huh?
She's trying to get her mother put out.
Her mama had to stay with her. Her mama already was put out. Her mama ain't sell that house. None of that story made sense to me. None of that made sense. Her mama got put out that house because they couldn't afford
Allegedly,
it after their
allegedly.
daddy died. Huh? Allegedly. Okay. Her mama got put out. She had to stay with Britt, and Britt doing whatever she can to get this money to get her mama out that house, child.
Well, I mean, Britt is a bad liar, and if you're a bad liar, I think it's best for you to just disappear because she's over here making a fool out of herself. Um,
Mm.
like I said, I feel like she's just trying to get a settlement out of Bravo so she can pay these people at this country club for tearing their grass up.
Well, she got some people to pay. Who gonna interview her first? Who she gonna do the interview with?
Carlos,
Carlos.
Carlos, because he was
She
over
don't
there.
even know Carlos.
Britt Edie, like I just thought she was going to be the breakout star, and I don't know what that was about. I don't get what they saw in her because she has brought
Not, not.
absolutely nothing. Were y'all just going by her Instagram pictures? Because she has brought nothing.
She irritated me since the very first episode when they
Day
were sitting at
one.
that table. And she was talking about in high school she was a video vixen. Honey, I was hot stuff in high school.
Okay,
She
girl. Well,
irritated
we
me
were
day
all
one.
hot stuff in high school over here on this channel, so that's not impressive, girl.
High school, 20s, 30s, 40s.
We still in there. We still in there. Without the fake Birkin bags and Louis Vuittons and things. Um,
Mm,
let's touch on last week. It wasn't a whole lot going on last week. I just wanted to talk real quick about Portia and Drew's meetup and how Portia is out here trying to spread more rumors about this girl.
girl. Now you talking about you done switched up the whole dentist thing been sounding stupid. Now you switching it up and now you making it about this dude black. And then had the nerve to say if you just dating, if you're not dating dentist, say that. But if you're just dating this dude, say that. I'm like, you been this whole season talking about she with Dennis and she trying to do this with Dennis and she effing for beats and all of this stuff. And then
And here
all of a sudden now it's this other guy. You
I
knew
mean,
about this other guy the whole
the whole
time.
time, the whole time. And at the end of the day, then if she was with Black, what was you so worried about with her and Dennis? It does.
Because that
That's
didn't
not
fit your storyline. That didn't fit your storyline.
well. Drew brought up Simon and Portia hightailed her happy ass up out of that restaurant.
She brought up Future too. And I don't even know Future. Let a picture of some come show up. Soon as that came out your mouth, I was like, watch Future or a picture of something gonna show up with Portia with Future.
Well, Simon is the one that tweeted that back when he was doing all that stuff. So, like, when you put yourself back then, when Simon was on Twitter and all that stuff saying she was smashing Future, and then Drew brought it up, like, the people said you was over here with Future. It hit a little different there at that
I,
table when they're having that conversation. Drew let her have it. She was like, "You're not mad at me. You're mad because of Simon."
I'd have been like Simon says. You was over there with Future. Why are you worried about who I'm over here with? And you and your husband say you was over there with Future.
And your husband and my husband are on the same nonsense. Let's just don't be over here on, you know, these platforms bringing up things that's going to be ammunition. You already met with Ralph, even though you keep trying to act like that's not what it was. You already met with Ralph, you and your lapdog, and y'all gave him this platform to talk all kinds of smack about Drew and what she's doing and what none of it
Hmm.
fact, just anything that's coming out of Ralph's mouth. Now you over here giving him more ammunition talking about Black. You ain't you dating Black?
So
We don't
why are
even
you
know
doing
Black.
that? So are we trying to help what's her
Ralph
husband name? Ralph? Are
seemed
we
like
trying to help Ralph in the divorce? Is that what we're doing?
seemed like
You're sabotaging this girl divorce?
she fight real dirty, don't she? Her and her lapdog.
It's gonna come back on her because you going through it. You gonna be the one put up out that house. Simon is out from what I heard.
I'm
Simon gonna come home and
is
put
he
you
out
and
because he ain't said nothing.
I heard Simon was out. I don't know how true it is, child, but that's what I heard that he was out. But I ain't got connections up in the immigration thing, so I don't know.
You can't verify this information.
I can't verify it. You know, I have a lot of connections, but not in the immigration game, so not yet.
I don't know. I think Portia's lost. She don't know what to talk about, so all she can do is get up and go. And even her confessionals, like everything she's doing, is coming off. It ain't coming off right. Like she thinks she's telling a joke, and it's backfiring every time because
Mm.
you're doing too much. And I was never like a big Drew fan, but I'm like Drew is holding her own over here because y'all seem to be coming after her, and she's paying y'all dust.
Drew was eating them up though. Drew ate Portia up in that whole conversation, so.
And did.
I think she realized that, and that's why she was ready to go because it wasn't a good look for her. She wasn't expecting the Drew to come at her the way she did. She thought
Well,
she was
if
gonna be able
her
to
and
go in
Drew were
there and make Drew.
friends and hanging out, and all y'all was doing double dates or whatever y'all was doing, double dates with Dennis and not Simon, even though that's your husband. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
guessing Drew got a little more information than Portia wants to let out. That's why she was like, "That's it. That's it." Every time she has information, when she was at Angela's house, she gonna hide behind the fan, and she
Hmm.
got to go because she can't answer these questions. Um, there was another scene with Kelly and her publicist, and I was like, "Baby, so he's the publicist and the babysitter, and he's the brother-in-law." Like, how many hats does this man have over here? Her
Hmm.
publicist. You leaving your kids with the publicist while you go out of town. And this man took it upon himself to call her soon to be ex-husband. He trying to negotiate a peace between the two. I don't know why publicist feels like that's any of his place to do, but I don't care who hired him or where he came from. Is it safe to have somebody that this man hired in the house while you're out of town?
Well, I guess he all up in the kitchen cooking and everything. Seemed like he beat it
Everything.
a lot. Yeah. And the kids didn't seem like they were too worried. They was like, oh, such and such. He probably do it anyway, low key.
That little girl was like, the twins are funny. She was like, the people gonna think he's our dad. And the other one was like,
Yeah.
they don't need to know our business. And the oldest one is like, just leave us the credit card. Like, what is the limit? So while you're
Yeah.
gone, we know how much we could be spending over here. I was just wondering though, like, because her story of having to hide in the closet and she's got to have security. And why do you want your kids over there? Because I would not want my kids over there.
Oh, I definitely wouldn't want him, my kids over there with him. If he's threatening to kill you, he'll do anything.
He
Like,
can do anything.
yeah, no, we don't need the kids over there. I don't know why she would want him to have a relationship with the kids at this
She
point.
wants him to do take care of his responsibilities. These are still your children. I would be like, keep him
Mm-mm.
over there, restraining orders and all. As the way he is for me, the better.
Right, he's a dangerous man. We don't want that.
Best
What is
friend,
wrong with you?
publicist, stay out of my business. Don't try to negotiate no peace treaties between me and this violent man.
Mm-mm.
We getting off to Grenada, and right off the bat, Phaedra, starts talking smack, but only in her confessional. She don't be standing on business in person. So she sees Angela and says Angela is the oldest looking young woman she's ever seen. What?
What do Phaedra think she look like? And then
Let's
she
see.
do old stuff like girl. Oh. I'm like,
Them
you is the
same
oldest.
faces.
She talking like a grandmama. Like you for real, for real. Like, Phaedra, what do you see when you look in the mirror? You look like an old woman who is trying to look young all the time.
Like a city girl. That's what the streets be calling her.
City girl grandmama. That's what she look like.
She's
She
the
look
city,
old standing next to them
girl
other
church
women.
lady.
Little does she know, like, you talked about the ladies over there to marry the medicine, but that's really your age group. That's who you fit in with. You don't really fit in with these girls like you think you do.
I'm not
You
understanding the shade of Angela. Angela is she don't look no older than the rest of them. I want them to stop saying that. She acts mature because she's got an older husband, maybe. I don't know what it is, why they keep referring to this lady as old. She talking about she hope her personality is more fun than her looks or something like that. I'm like, you got a lot of nerve because you came over here with blue eyeshadow and prayer cloths over underneath your lap.
and here's the thing. Angela just asked her age. What do y'all think? Like
Because
Shamia
she
and
saw her
Portia,
jump in the airport, dancing around the airport, twerking all up on each other.
yeah, like that's not what people
Grown
that age do.
people.
The average 40 something year old woman is not walking around like Shamia and Portia, dropping it like it's hot every few minutes, titties
Everywhere
out,
in the
woo,
airport,
like
dropping it, tongues hanging out, booties bouncing, and I was like, What gate are you at? What are we doing? Being in the airport is never really a fun experience for me anyway. And y'all sit down.
yeah, yeah. Y'all really do too much. Y'all really want to be back 20 something. And it's not. It's not giving. I
I
wonder
don't
how
remember doing
Shamia's
that when I was
husband really
20.
feel about that.
Shamia's,
Shamia.
he
She
probably
don't
doesn't
want
like it.
married.
He probably doesn't like it. That's why he didn't want to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know how when you have your dog like in the house all day and you get home and then you let her out and she get the zoomies around the yard. You just got to
Mm-hmm.
get that all out of her system. I feel like that's what Shamia is doing. She's always extra loud and the biggest voice in the room, and she's never been that before.
She got the zoomies.
She got the
She get out with
zoomies.
the girl.
She got the zoomies. She got a lot going on in her home. It's very serious over there. Um,
Mm.
Grenada's beautiful. The ladies are greeted with stilt dancers, and they was tongue wagging. That was the only time I felt like it was appropriate for them to be. You know what I'm saying? Now you turn up and twerk and stuff.
Right, right.
The hotel was beautiful. I will say, I do like the way they distributed the rooms. This way, it don't seem like nobody doing nothing shady, y'all. picked your own room. The rooms are pretty, even though there was another twin bed, but I would have just pushed them beds together. So
And then honestly, she found out later that the twin bedroom was the best looking room, other than the other one.
I mean,
Drew,
it was nice. Like she said, I'm not gonna be in these rooms anyway. They be making a big ordeal about the rooms. I'm glad they got past that. But I was like, that's what they need to do. Miss
hmm
Messy Shamia over here paying for her messy ways because her luggage got lost. I was like, that's what you
that's
get.
that's horrible. But
And
she
that's
did have
happened
some
to me
clothes. At
before.
least
But
she had
I'm
some
like, this,
clothes.
she has some clothes. I mean, they hit the jackpot. They was in that luggage talking about, oh, look at all these labels.
That's why, and I'm sure her luggage was labeled out
It was
on
probably
the way
Louis
there.
Vuitton luggage.
And that's why you don't have them type of luggage when you
I
go
mean,
traveling for real.
she ain't getting that stuff back, child.
She not.
Them Chanel short suits and Balenciaga sweaters and things, girl, they've been already passed out in the neighborhood.
They tacky anyway. Girl,
Very.
she got money. Go on shopping in
She
Grenada and get you some
can go
outfits.
shopping. I mean, I'm sure there's some boutique somewhere that's got designer stuff in it.
Yeah.
Um, So, like I said, not a whole lot happened last episode. They did have this part where they were sitting at the dinner table, and Kelly asked Portia directly, "Do you feel like you've been a good friend to Shamia?" And Portia refused to answer the question. She said, "We already talked about that, and we're good." And
Yeah,
Shamia,
but but first you said, why do y'all ask her and not ask me? So Kelly, like I'm asking you directly. And no,
I mean,
not I want.
before,
We're not
no,
talking about it.
before you should have asked me before now, and then I would have been glad to answer that question. Shamia thinks that solidifies her as bestie to him.
How? She just sat there and didn't want to say how she's been a good friend to you because she isn't.
She
And you
can't.
took that as that's your friend, that y'all besties.
She can't say it. This is my hot flash fan, y'all. Whew. Um, yeah. Well, she's happy. She's happy that she's got her best friend having her back. Kelly says Drew has an issue with everyone, and I'm like, no, she doesn't. Y'all just making
And when
stuff
she
up.
said that, I'm like, who do Drew have an issue with besides Portia and Shamia? And Shamia really shouldn't have an issue with Drew. You just taking on Portia's issue with Drew because your issue with Drew makes zero sense.
It's kind of like a lap dog would do, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
And Drew ate her ass up too. A hit dog will holler. You be over there barking.
So what is Britt's issue? She don't have an issue with Drew.
She don't
I ain't
have an
never
issue
seen
with Drew. Cynthia doesn't. Kelly, what is your issue with Drew? Is it
being a
because
lap
now you're
dog.
Shamia's lap dog?
Yep,
Hey,
he's a
hey,
lap
Jay.
dog.
Jay, have you been watching the Housewives, or you just been hearing what's going on in the streets? I'm like, Kelly, she has no issue with you. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm like she
I'm
has an issue with no one but Portia, honestly.
the issue that Portia has made up clearly. Um,
That now she done switched the subject. It's not about her baby daddy. Now it's about somebody else.
well,
Man,
Kelly,
see, because this is the stuff Andy ain't gonna get on Portia ass for that, and he
no,
should.
no, he won't require her to answer the question again. She's just gonna say, "Me and Shugmia are in a good place," so I don't want to rehash things. Um,
I would be like, Portia, why this whole season you been talking about Drew sleeping with your baby daddy, and then at the end you switch it up and start talking about she been with this other dude. Like, how was that any of your issue?
well, we're gonna see. She got the first chair, so we're gonna see what questions he actually asked. I
Not a
know the
damn
viewers
thing.
will. The viewers, when they had the viewer questions, so hopefully they will get into that. She won't answer. I'm not even. I don't have no faith that she will.
She won't.
Kelly is playing this game that they all do. She's holding the crystal as if that has some type of control over the situation. Britt gets the crystal and she wants Phaedra to know that for whatever reason, her husband invited Apollo to her event and she didn't want no drama behind that. And I'm like, Apollo wasn't there.
When she said that, I was sitting there thinking, like, was Paulo at the event and they didn't show him?
No, he was not there. She's looking for something. This is the same thing she did with Kenya. She over here
I,
now, like trying to pick people to
I
have an
thought the
issue
same
with.
thing. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, she trying to do Phaedra what she did to Kenya. And so she
How
could
much
say they're
money?
jealous of me.
She said, how much money is Ralph paying? Portia, nothing. He ain't got it. He about didn't want to pay for that little lunch they had together. He
They
was
broke his
looking at
ass
them
on
like we
that.
ain't splitting it. He cannot afford Portia.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. They knew it too. That's why they was just adding on stuff. They was eating it up.
Now
That
he had
meant
to
you got bigger and
pay his
bigger.
bill with Drew's credit card.
Exactly. That's who paid for that lunch.
Okay, so we on to this week's episode, and I want to know: is Angela Oakley okay? Is she playing with us with this whole? I find it hard to believe that Charles was ever this romantic guy. So why is she acting like he's gonna be so upset that I'm not there for our anniversary?
He's Stop it. He's not. Um, I think that Charles is who Charles always have been, and you didn't got on this show, and you want Charles to act like that he is
Different.
this different dude, and he's like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not playing up for these cameras.
Yeah, I was
That's
like, he
all
didn't
that
even
is.
answer the phone.
He not because he don't want to tape. He don't want to film.
Charles
He
said, "Y'all
really
will not
don't.
be pulling up none of my dirt between all of these ladies that you hanging out with." You said you want, but they said they've been asking Angela Oakley to do the show for years.
And he probably was telling her no.
I mean, she's over here now. I don't know why they keep saying, acting like I've never heard of her before. I've never heard of him having a wife. And Phaedra says
Yeah,
she hasn't hung out with the man in 10 years. I was like, so then you weren't there when he didn't have a wife back then when you were hanging out with him.
exactly. You know, Phaedra tend to do that. Phaedra's that chick. Because she did that on Married to Medicine. Like she was with Greg and she was with all these other. She always happened to know somebody, man, back in the day type. You have to watch Phaedra. She that
What's his
chick.
name? Chuck from the Falcons.
Yeah, you have to watch her.
There's no way I would keep putting Charles on the spot on camera. I would not either.
No
It's
way.
embarrassing. There's no way I would do that because he's not, like you said, he's not playing. And you're looking a fool.
He making you look stupid. And you know this is how he is and he's always been like that. He not finna change. If all he is gonna do is embarrass you, you doing it to yourself.
Charles don't do birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, Valentine's Day. I don't think he's that guy. So I would have been enjoying
Mm-mm.
myself. Angela, enjoy yourself away from
Please
Charles.
do. And quit giving these girls ammunition. See, that's one thing I wouldn't do. Ain't nowhere in the world I put it out there and give y'all ammunition to talk about my marriage.
Maybe
Good,
she
bad,
thinks
or
she's getting in
indifferent.
front of it. Maybe she thinks you know how to be like spill your tea before, but they don't need to know that.
No, they don't need to know how your and him interactions and stuff is.
I mean, if you want to play games, stay in your room and come down and be like, I was on the phone with Charles. We don't need it.
Exactly.
We don't need
It was
it.
our anniversary. It's first time we've been apart. But don't show us on the phone with Charles. Tell me I don't give a damn, girl.
Do you celebrate your anniversaries?
What anniversary?
See, we had that conversation too while we were watching this. I was like, we don't have an anniversary. We know about when we got together, but we don't have no thing where we celebrate. You know what I'm saying? There's no date. It's not on the calendar. We weren't
There is
together
no
and
date.
then we met and then we were together. So,
Yeah, there is no date. It's not, we're not married. So there is no anniversary.
oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's a married people thing.
Yeah.
Well, then I ain't got to look for no anniversary gifts and things.
No.
That's never been me anyway. I just was like, what day is it? You want me to add another day to all the other days I need
Look, I'm
to
doing
remember?
good to even do birthdays. I'm not a birthday person. I'm not one of them that be like, oh, it's my birthday, it's my birthday, it's my birthday. I've never been that person.
I'm not either, but I think that we're like this because of where our birthday is, and it be around the holiday time, and everybody's celebrating so many other things that you be. I mean, yours is earlier. Mine is
Right.
after all the celebration. Mine is literally right after all the celebrations. So nobody cares.
I'm just not like, I don't like all that attention. So, I mean, in my household, that's who
Yeah,
better be
yeah,
like
yeah.
happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
But
Right.
to put it all out there, and you know, it ain't even got to be a big thing. Just acknowledge it's my birthday,
It's my day.
and you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Charles
But
is not into that, and she's embarrassing herself. So they get down. It's time to, like, the getaway shenanigans, and they're getting ready to go on this little excursion. The group, they split the group in two. Now they're down in the kitchen, and it's Cynthia, Kelly, and Phaedra and Britt. There's a lot of nipple conversation. Britt can't hold her liquor, so I guess after that dinner, she was throwing up, and she had to walk around in a public place without her shirt on. Is that part of her reputation? Did she ask Bravo not to film that?
she do a lot of whole shit. She wanna act like she don't do that, but she do a lot. She do
She
a lot. It was
was puking. She
recently.
could not get that on that whatever she was wearing. That. Now the people said she was renting her luxurious designer clothing, and I feel like that's probably
From
the
Marlo.
smartest thing. I don't care. I think she ain't on Marlo's list, please. No, she can't get in the archive. She gonna have to. They got places. They said Sheree was doing the same thing, but I said I feel like if you're a housewife, that's very smart. You don't break your budget. You know what I'm saying? Doing all of that stupid stuff, trying to keep up. You go rent the thing for filming.
Like Shamia. Shamia said she had basically spent her budget on her clothes. And she look a hot mess most of the time that we see
She
her.
didn't even put that money back.
But just to wear these labels.
She should just go to the Gap,
Child.
start on a small level, keep it simple, work her way up, to Express, and then maybe, by the time she gets to Neiman Marcus, she'll have her style situated.
You can't buy style. She should have spent that money on the stylist,
She needs a stylist bad.
not her doing it herself. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, they're going out. They're going to split up. They have two different activities. Shamia, Portia, and Phaedra and Cynthia are going to a waterfall. And Kelly, Drew, Britt, and Angela are going to a cooking class. I would probably rather go to the waterfall. But I wouldn't mind doing either thing.
I
Like, I could go on a vacation and do both of those things.
I would rather go to the cooking class. Look, I I don't never want to be in a group with portion them. I think each group that portion them was both times I'd rather be with the other group. The very first time they split up and the other ones went to go do bourbon, I think I'd rather went to go do bourbon. I don't want to do the waterfalls. I don't want to take pictures and bounce up and down in the waterfall. I'm gonna
Well,
go where the hot man was that was cooking the food. That's where I want to go.
I wasn't talking about the group. I was talking about the activity.
I'm talking
Hey,
about the hot man that was cooking the food.
well, I said I would do both, but I like the waterfall. That's something we don't have around here. I can go find
Bounce in the
something to
water,
do. Huh?
bouncing around naked in the
No,
water.
no, the waterfall, the whole, the ambience of the thing. I like being by the water.
Well, hell, we got Niagara Falls up the street. You can go to
We ain't
Niagara Falls.
street. We in Grenada, and so
Oh,
unfortunately, so
shit.
you go hang out with Kelly and them, and I guess I'm gonna hang out with Shamia and Portia.
Yeah, because that man was chocolate. And I was like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. These are some nice looking men right here. Cook my food. Yes.
Shamia, out the blue, where did this come from? She has this weird energy, and she's throwing shade at Brit.
I didn't understand it.
I
And
don't
I
get.
do not like Brit, and I did not want to take up for Brit, but I had to get on Brit's side this
You got to
time.
be on her side this time. I'm sorry.
It didn't make sense.
They in the car, they talking about her donation, and I was like, you asked her to donate. She came over there with that little bitty thing, and you could criticize it all you want, but then she sent you money. Like, girl, who said Phaedra
So
talking about she just set the bar at 1,000? But says who?
who set the bar at 1,000?
When they were in the sprinter, Phaedra was like, well, I think, when you're a lady of this caliber, they talk about because they drive Rolls Royces and Bentleys and things, you shouldn't be donating less than $1,000.
Okay, fair enough. I thought I thought ladies of that caliber, $1,000 was cheap. But fair enough. Let's do $1,000. Okay.
But say
Um,
that. Say it so
that
she
that that's
knows.
my whole thing. Like paper towels that was slap in the face. Um, Now if she had came with a bunch of toiletry and stuff, I'm sorry. I'm thinking they had a natural disaster. Three, that was a slap in the face. But like y'all was donating clothes, like your name brand clothes and purses and shit. Like I don't understand how that would help me in a natural disaster
It
unless
was
I'm gonna
looking
sell
like
it to make some
a
money.
storage unit over there at Shamia's house. I was like, what is
Full
going on?
of what though? You know what I'm saying? Like the baby clothes. Okay, I get it, because the babies need clothes.
Yeah, yeah.
Your shit, what they want with that? I, uh, no, you know
I
what
mean,
I'm
I guess
saying?
it depends on what she was donating. But when you go to those islands, it don't be like that. They don't be walking around dripped in Balenciaga and
Right. That's what it seemed like to me. You know what I'm saying? Now, if when she came with the little three thing, you like, girl, now you know. Now, just ask her. Say, you know what? The minimum we giving is a G. So, you know what I'm saying? Just flat out say. Just
say it.
flat out say that that's what you want.
She said she took her to Houston's. I took her to Houston's and we had a conversation. Let's face it, she missed the bar. And I was like, what was the bar? She did not know the bar. You should have told her what the bar was.
If you told her everybody's donating the G, then that's
And
what it
she
was. So
did
when
be
you went
acting like she's such a big dog, but she was being very passive aggressive.
she was. She was.
They trying to manage
So
the
when
lady's pockets.
so when old girl was talking, are we talking about when Shamia said it at the table? Are we talking about that part?
Well, she started that morning. She started that morning and was like, she said something slick before they got in the van
About
about
her
us
being
being in
the
class.
drinker. A lot about her not wanting to force the alcohol. That part.
I think that came later too. I think I mean, she was throwing shade. Like she started with Britt that morning. They were downstairs and she said something, and she was like, I mean, I didn't mean you. And I think it was about the donations because they got in the car and immediately start discussing how this, she didn't do enough and she didn't, thought she had driving around and Rolls Royce and showing up with paper towels. Like they were talking a whole lot of smack about her then.
You know, Shamia's really coming across. This is why everybody's calling you Shamina, because you're really coming across as a mean girl.
And this was supposed to be your friend.
Yeah,
I don't remember how Drew came up, but Shamia claims every time Drew's names get mentioned, nobody knows who I'm talking about.
lies and deceit.
Girl,
First of all, we don't know you, Shamia, outside of being Portia's
who's
friend.
your friend?
No, everybody when the show first came on was so surprised that you was even living like that because all they ever known you as is Portia's friend. Now,
Even with V103, I felt like, and I could be wrong, but I felt like she got that job based on her association with Candy and Portia.
I'm sure she did. Now with Drew, we knew Drew as Drew Sidora, but she was Drew Sidora on the game. You
And
know what I'm saying?
and then she
We
did the
knew
TLC
of
movie.
Drew. And then she did the TLC movie.
So when
And
she
now
came
she
over
out
here,
here.
we already knew who she was.
And you are trying to do everything that Drew is already known for. Correct?
Is that her problem? Is she jealous? I hate to say that, but is she jealous that Drew has a career and like when this thing is not typing, they be over there making Tubi movies and things. Like
Yeah,
she's a working actress with a hit
yeah,
record out.
she's chasing Drew, and that's her problem. In her mind, she's in competition with Drew. Because let's not forget, prior to this season, Drew, once again, and Portia was really hanging out with Dennis. She's in competition with Drew. Drew was Portia's friend, and Drew was also an entertainer, and Drew was also the triple direct threat or whatever you was calling yourself. Drew was at least two of them things. Well,
I don't
three,
know
because
that
she
her
had your
husband
best
even.
friend.
I don't know that her husband even like he don't seem like that type of guy. Like he ain't hanging out. Is he hanging? He was hanging out with Simon,
For a minute, but he also was warning her about Simon too.
warning Portia.
Yeah.
Well, child, they get to their prospective places. The cooking classes on this.
And I'm sorry, wait a minute, just to hold back. And Portia didn't even use you to do gold naked hair. She had Drew as the spokesperson.
Use Drew because Drew is more well known. I feel like every opportunity she gets, she talking about Drew. It don't make sense.
Hmm.
So they're over here cooking, and their estate that they're on is owned by a local family. The local family has a rum company and a distillery. We didn't see the inside of the house. We were outside of the house. Um, but they said there was a lot of damage during the hurricane. So it was cool. Kelly called herself a chef. I said, Kelly went to fashion school. Did she go to culinary school too? Or is
Not
she
according to her,
she make
not
waffles?
according to her kids. Her kids
I
say she
said
ain't
she
that good of a
makes
cook.
cook.
Kelly said she got one good recipe, and that's some chicken and waffles, and that's what she got.
I mean, I was like, Kelly, you are not a chef. Um, it was like I said, both events were cool. I would, when you go to an island, you have to figure out different activities to do because the people over there are not on a turn up like they are in Atlanta. They're, people living their regular
Hmm.
lives. Um,
Hmm.
but it's a cool experience. I do think it's cool to go somewhere and learn how to cook food from other places. Something that that you don't normally do. Bring home some different spices and things. You could switch it up a little bit. Um,
Right.
Over at the waterfall, you know what they doing? They standing under the water, rubbing on each other's booty.
That ain't fun to me.
I was
Next.
like, why?
Portia's
Why? It's,
Phaedra bouncing up and down like she in a rap video. I was like, what is going on here?
it was very geriatric.
It was.
They sit down and they discuss, the ladies, the waterfall ladies were over there discussing how Britt says she doesn't feel supported in this group. And Portia pretty much said, like, we don't know you. And I agree with that. I'm like, girl, support it. What are you talking about? You had your little event that came over there. What support is she looking for from these people
I
that she
don't
just met?
understand that either. And then they threw a whole thing when and they felt sorry for you after the whole Kenya situation. That was a whole lot. That was a lot of support. I don't know
For
what else she
somebody they
expect
don't
them to
know,
do.
especially when Kenya is their friend.
Yeah, I don't know what she expect them to do. We came to your event. It's not like we didn't come to your event.
We
So
can't help our
support you
feelings about
how? Support you in what? What do you need support for? I don't understand. I'm lost.
it. She needs to be supported. I don't know. I don't
Help
know.
move your mama in your house? What are we missing? I'm lost.
Well, and I feel like she doesn't really do anything with them. Like, do y'all hang out? Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to build relationships with people. You don't
And
get
then
to
she
be in the group on the show, and then every time we're taping, that's the only time I see you.
and what did she say? Something about no somebody said something about not being invited to her house.
Well, when she said she didn't feel supported, Portia was like, "Well, you don't ever invite us to anything. Like, I haven't done anything with you outside of this." And she said, "You haven't invited me to your house either. But you're the one that wants to support." I feel like as the person, Drew invited her out for, drinks. They met up for drinks or whatever. I thought her
Right.
and Portia was cool. So I don't know what, like you said, I'm lost on what the support is that she needs. Phaedra just got here yesterday, so she don't count.
Since
Angela,
you're not
like
really
you
on the
and Angela
show.
was going back and forth. So
And
and
Kelly had
Kelly
you
has
Kelly
been
was at
so
your house.
supportive. God, Kelly brought you vitamin drips, roses. She's been.
Girl, child, please. I she just she's a whiner and she wants the attention. She's that type. I bet you she was that sister she whined and they all jumped at her whining and she's used to getting her way.
I don't know, but she's gonna have to fight her way to be the center of attention over here, and there's no reason like to have the attention on her. Once she gets the attention, she does something stupid like, "I want to apologize for inviting Paulo to a party that he didn't even attend." Shut up.
Dumb.
Um, Over where Kelly and them are, they sit down and eat the dinner that they cooked. And Kelly asked her, Kelly is here to just ask all the questions. She just be in the business. Who is black? That's what they want to know.
I don't even know why that even concerned Kelly. Once again, another one that is going through a divorce. Did
She's
you
going
think
through a
that was
divorce.
appropriate? Did
She's
you
going
think that
through
was
a divorce.
appropriate? You doing that
I
because
feel
you want to
like
be Shamia's lapdog?
if the conversation had been about Ty, since that's where we left off a long time ago, it would have been more salacious. But y'all just bringing random people in the scenario. And then she was honest. She was like, "Yeah, nah, we ain't together. I'm flirting, but I'm not doing nothing because I'm in the middle of a divorce." So who has time for that? And not her husband is a psycho.
Makes sense.
I think she's smart enough to know, like, not to give him any extra ammunition. And Portia was like,
Oh.
they were in a video together, and
And why all of a sudden y'all are interested in y'all, we ain't talking about Dennis? Portia said we switching the subject and the subject is now black, so now we're all on black. We all care.
somebody we don't know.
Child, please.
And I mean, I'm like you, like Kelly, you're going through a divorce. So why are you asking this lady about who she's dating? I would assume no one. The man lives in the basement.
Come on.
Portia's spreading the rumor again, something that she can't have any type of proof. I don't know why it matters to her. Yay, black. Now she can not be over there with Dennis.
Exactly. You should be happy that she's with black. I don't understand what the problem is.
Well, the day is over. They're heading back to the resort. Portia and Shamia are bonding over being best friends again. They're best friends. They're singing booty hole songs, and it's all like it used to be.
Unfortunately, she's not, though. But okay.
She in her confessional having a full on celebration about how she's got her friend, I got my best friend back.
And this is why you're the lapdog. You're like, what we gonna do today, Spike? What we gonna do today? That's what when I see Shamia, that's what I see. That little dog jumping
Take over
around the
the
big dog.
world. We're
Yep.
gonna take over the world, Pinky. Um, this is when it came up about the shots. So they go back to the house. There's always a lot of back and forth when they do these trips. They go back to the house and they're gonna change clothes and go to dinner. Shamia comes down. She should always wear Portia's clothes because they look better than her clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, she looks pretty in that yellow dress. So they're down there, and Shamia again is like, everybody, let's take a shot for those who want to take a shot. I don't want to be accused of forcing somebody to take a shot if they don't want to. And I was like, the lady was puking last night. I wouldn't be offering her no shots anyway. Seems like that's a bad idea. Why do
But
you
you know
care?
what? When the last time on the last trip, they said that Britt was a lightweight. When they went to the bourbon thing, 'cause remember she got tipsy there, and they was like, "Oh, you a lightweight." I think Cynthia told her that.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody ain't like that. Everybody ain't gonna be throwing shots and stuff like you probably did was like drink, 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 and
Yeah,
she.
I'm not a
But
shot girl.
that's enough to get you an attitude? No.
What was you mad about? That's what I'm saying. And it's like Britt is completely clueless because she's like, I thought this was my girl. So what happened? You were really that upset about her
Because
lack
I don't
of
want to take no
donation?
more shots.
I
I don't
guess.
want to be accused of making nobody drink. Girl,
That's
her
why you
nastiness
want to weigh
comes
in.
out, don't it? She really show her ass. Her nastiness comes all the way
She's
out.
a mean girl. She worse than Portia. And I was like, you came in where Britt is your best friend, but I call everybody best friend. So then that means nothing. When you say best friend, it means somebody you don't know. So we can't
Mm.
take you, at face value when it comes to that. Whatever her energy, I was like, are you that mad about her not donating as much as you feel like she should have donated to a trip this was Kelly's trip. So if Kelly's not mad, then what are you so much in your feelings about? She called her out on
Can
the
you
donation.
really, if someone is donating, can you really dictate how much they donate?
I
Like
don't feel
it's
like
supposed to
you
be from
should.
the heart, right?
I don't feel like you should. I think it's plenty of rich people that aren't generous. So, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't expect that from people just because they got money. And I feel like at this point, y'all know she's faking it. So is this your
Y'all know she ain't got it. Exactly. So is this your way of just calling her
calling her
out?
out? Well, you chose not a great way to call her out because I can't be mad at somebody that's donating. You can't ask me to donate and then say it's not enough.
Right.
Britt and Portia go back and forth because Britt wants Portia to know that she's offended that she didn't recognize her in the text message. I think, like you said, Britt just wants to have all eyes on her, and they're not. These people don't give a damn, girl. You haven't done nothing
Girl,
to get all this attention in the first place.
she has no story. She's trying to make it about her,
They
but it's
all
not.
don't have no story. They all making stuff up. The only one with a story is Drew and Angela and Kelly.
Kelly
They
don't even want to talk about her story half the time though. Like we need to hone in on that shit, girl. But go ahead.
who Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah, she got things going on. She's trying to distract you with that colorful painted dog. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so the prime minister is coming to have dinner with them. I don't remember who set that up. Um, I
Shamia.
was like, Shamia, why are you so excited? Ain't your husband at home?
I thought she was trying to hook Portia up,
No,
like
there's
trying to get him
Portia,
to
Kelly,
stay.
and Drew.
That was for Portia, girl. She wasn't looking out for nobody but Portia. They all was looking, but she was sitting up there trying to. Here's another one, because supposedly she hooked Portia up with Simon,
Yeah.
so
Well,
she
I was
trying
like,
to do
y'all are
her
going
solid.
overboard acting like this man is so handsome. He looked like babyface cousin. I was not impressed. I'm sure he was a very nice man, but they was like, oh my God, the prime
I
minister.
mean, if you coming from Simon,
He's
you
definitely
know,
a better look than
she
Simon.
like, hell, I really could look at this one if I've been laying up with Simon. Can you imagine what I could do with this one?
I'm just like, y'all look goofy. All y'all fawning over this man. Like, so thirsty. Like,
Mm-mm. They
that was
said
so,
prime minister, right? So they just like money. They was over there like
they assuming.
uh they trying to be like
Lisa Ray.
what's your girl Diamond?
Lisa Ray.
Lisa Ray. Yeah,
Yeah.
they want to be the next Lisa Ray. You see how that worked out, but go ahead with it, sis.
I mean, y'all ain't about to come stay in Granada. So it was all a whole lot. After dinner was over, Britt wants to revisit this conversation with Portia because she felt like Portia didn't let her speak. I don't know what it is. Portia's like, "Girl, it's cool. I got it," and she still wasn't. I just really want to finish. You never let me say my part. I didn't get to say what I wanted to say.
Girl,
She
she
don't care.
wanna make it a thing.
She wants to make it a
Nah,
thing.
it's
Nobody
not.
gets it. While they're in the car, Shamia gets a call from her husband. I was confused by this too. Because I was like, okay, so you called her to tell her that we're gonna need to fire this staff because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And I get it, there's specifics with their baby that has to be carried out. So her mother was there. Why wasn't her mother the one, looking out in the first place?
Is this au pair that they didn't hire?
I don't know, but I was like, so what is she supposed to do? Like, was the point to make her
Why is
feel
the
bad
why
because
is the
now I'm
room
on a
cold?
vacation and you calling me to tell me about something I can't do nothing about? So you want me to feel guilty?
Yeah, he felt like fussing while you out here on this trip. Let me tell you what's going on here with the baby. Why is the room cold? Y'all be having these big ass houses and y'all be wanting to turn on the damn heat because it costs too much to heat them big mothers. But y'all ain't got no heater or nothing in the baby room. Why is the baby? He kept saying this in this freezer room, in the freezer room. Why is the baby in a freezer room?
Why is she in your room? You're her father. You acting like she's just and you want to have another baby for this man. It's your
Yeah, she
kid.
do.
How come you're not taking care of her?
That's what he getting paid the au pair for.
Mm. Now Shamia crying because she in trouble. When she get home, she's gonna be in big trouble because she gonna have to hear about it. How this person didn't do, their job, and the baby didn't get sick, but could have possibly gotten sick.
Child. I thought he said she was gonna take her to the doctor in the morning.
If
So she was just cold.
Yeah, and then her mother was on the phone with her, and her mother was like, "Yeah, I wrapped her up, and it took me however many hours. So how long was that baby just sitting in there in the cold?"
So the baby, who was this? The baby was just in the room
I'm guessing with
with
the
no
nurse or
clothes
whoever
on?
they have on duty. I don't know. It was weird. But they get back to the place, to the resort, and now Shami's boohoo crying again, and I was like confused by that, and I was like, so then go home. Like if you're that upset, go pack your stuff. You didn't even get your luggage, so it ain't really nothing for you to do. Everybody
Do
drunk and
you
they're standing around Shamia praying while she's sobbing.
so are we saying that these are red flags, that this is what's going on in Shamiya house? That is not as happy as she,
It
you
seemed
know.
like it. It seemed like a red flag to me. I just don't understand because I feel like as a loving husband, you would be like, "She's okay. I'm not gonna stress Shamia out because she's not here. So I'll
Because
tell her
she's
about it when
actually
she
at
gets
work.
home." Right. I'll
Yeah.
tell her when
At the
she gets
end of the
home.
day, it's work. Like you go to work every day, she's at work.
I mean, if nothing has happened, obviously she's gonna worry. So, if I have to take her to the doctor in the morning, then I'll say something. Otherwise, you just call her, like I said, to disrupt her mood so she can't. How I'm supposed to be having fun now?
Well, that's the second time she done broke down crying at the damn thing. I think her ass is stressed and going through some shit. But you
Seem
know
like
what,
it.
Shamia, y'all asses was so damn concerned about what the hell Charles had going on over there
Okay.
at the house. You need to be worried about what the hell going on at yours.
We don't want to talk about that. We know
See,
she
y'all be
thought she
wanting to
was
show the
witnessing
glitz
all
and
this every
glamour.
other day, trying to figure
Y'all
out
want to
how
show
she's
the
going to.
glitz and glamour, but y'all know that those a lot of them foreigner men, they're very
They're controlling.
male chauvinist.
Yeah, they're
And
controlling
yeah,
their culture. And I mean, it, I remember I had a student and she was Indian and she was only like 29, but she was married with kids. She didn't expose her hair, you know what I mean? Even though she's in beauty school, she didn't expose her hair really. And the rest of the girls in her class were very young, like 18, 19, 20. So they were sitting around one day talking about boyfriends and my boyfriend this, and it was just teenage girls chattering, and she was just staring at them. She was like, "In my country, wasn't no boyfriend, just husband." And I was like, culturally, she's over here in this school, and he's not gonna like it if she keeps, if she starts being too independent because it's not, and I had this conversation with Caitlin, and she was like, couldn't be me. And I said, we say that because that's what we were raised on. But in their
right.
culture, that's the way it is. So,
Yeah,
this man's culture is not the same as Shamia.
exactly.
And for her to wait, honestly, I feel like ain't no way. I'm not, my man is not he from here in this country. But I'm not gonna be somewhere always twerking and booty out. And y'all ask Shamia, you're not one of the single girls. You don't
Sure,
see
right. That's
Angela
what I
doing all
said. What
that.
her husband be thinking when he watching this. When he watched this season, for real, Shamia ass might be in trouble.
She gonna
Let
be
let one of them
Angela back.
others from his country comment on the way his wife is not
Right,
acting
right,
wifely.
right.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen here.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it could, but like I said, culturally things are very different, and you're supposed to be carrying yourself a different kind of way. And that
Absolutely.
phone call for me was not about the little girl. It was about, see what I told you? Now you're not here
Mm-hmm.
to take care of this baby, and you're out there with Portia. You know what Portia be up to.
Mm-hmm.
And then Britt, when she say read the room, she sure don't know how to read the room because this
Oh,
lady,
Brit.
yes. So you go get down on your knees and I got your back no matter what. I don't care what we're going
I
through.
ain't. She made that. She once again wanted to make that about her.
And Drew was looking at her like, what the hell is going on?
I was looking at her like that too, Drew. And then
What
the
is
heifer
going
went over
on?
there and poured down her titties. I was like, see, she be on that
Here
whole
we
shit.
go again.
She
And
goes
everybody's
straight to
looking
it.
at
She
her like
can't
this
help herself.
lady is upset because her child is possibly sick. She's not there. Her husband is pressing her, so she feeling some type of way. And you think it's a great idea for you to take a shot and throw your titties on the counter.
Yeah, she can't help it. The hoe just come out.
Well, it came out all over the counter.
Hmm. And who was that? Angela. One of them was like, what the hell? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, her Andrew.
Hmm. I guess y'all.
I mean, I would rate this episode like the last two episodes for me been about a 4. And it's because there's so much scrambling going on. It's like a lot of stuff going on, but nothing really going on. And between Shamia and Portia making up stuff for no reason, where we're like, what is that all about? And they having a whole scene about it, about Black, who we've never heard of.
They just pulled that one off their ass. I
Just came
promise
from
they
out of
did.
nowhere.
And then blamed her for that. Well, if you're dating black, then just say that. You said it. You've been saying all of it. Girl,
Why do I need to say anything, Portia? What are you
ain't none
talking
of that push your business. What your business is about Simon. We want to know about Simon.
about? We're
We
not
want
even.
to know. We want to know what you gonna do if he take the ball. I guess she's showing us this little thing because he gonna put you out the house.
Well, we ain't seen it. We've been filming in restaurants and tea meetups and things. So
If I see
I
if
can't
it
wait
had
to
been
see
me, if it had been me, Fallon would have still been on that damn show just for this season. We know the girl born, but she would have been on this season to comment, sitting back, saying, "Heifer, that's what you get."
she's supposed to be related to one of these. I feel like Britt or
Great,
somebody. She's related to Britt. She should have brought Fallon. Yeah, that would have helped her storyline a little bit.
yeah. I think the whatever they got this, they like close relation. They got like the same last name or something like that.
Oh, I don't know,
Yeah.
but that would have been a better look. Um, that's all they had to offer this week. So I guess next week it'll be more of I don't know what. I guess the fallout between Brit and everyone. We gonna see what happened with Brit that made her fall out with all her best friends.
Kelly said that she gonna check Kelly, cause at the table, Kelly said some shit about that donation stuff on Shamia's side. She made some comment. I forgot what she said. She said some smart shit, but it was coming from again. That could have been a sidebar conversation. That really should have been a sidebar conversation between you and your friend.
Your friend.
But you try to front her off at the table because you want to be up Shania's ass.
Well, and
So
I'm
that's
still
probably what's
confused.
gonna
It's like,
happen.
why is it a problem that I donated $250? You better walk away from me with that. I mean,
Why do we know what she donated? Why, you know what I'm saying?
because Phaedra put out a number because they were in that sprinter talking about. Well, Shamia put it out there.
She put it out there, but here's the whole thing. When you donate, first of all, when you give to somebody, you're not supposed to go and even tell the world what you that you did it, because that's not a cheerful giver. You supposed to do it and go on about your business, but you gotta go and tell everybody I did this for such and such, and I can't stand a person like that. Don't give if you got to go and tell the world what you did.
So you can
So
pay
so
your biggest
this right,
I'm a giving
yeah,
person. This is what I did.
this is what I did. No, you do it and you go about your business. See, one thing for sure, this is how you supposed to be. When all that shit happened with Cat Williams, and then when he did that thing, his special, and he was talking about him, and they was all like cat crazy, and then all of a sudden, all these people started coming out was like, Cat did this for me, Cat did that for me. We
Yeah,
had no clue Cat was out here taking care of all these
those
people because
people.
you wasn't supposed to know.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? They out here bragging on, I gave 1,000, I did this. You ain't even supposed to tell all of that. Because that's not how you get your blessings, Shamia. You don't get blessed. She said she told her daughter, you have to give if you want to receive. You ain't gonna receive it if you out here bragging on it. This is what you gave. That's not where how you get your blessing, girl. And
Well,
that's
you
why you
also
probably
you should
going
be
through what
giving
you going
because
through.
you should be giving because you got a giving heart. You shouldn't be giving with any expectation of receiving anything. So
And you can't tell nobody else what to give. Y'all know that girl is sitting up here full of shit and ain't got no money. Her mama got to stay with her. She did lost
She done lost her
she did
license.
she did lost her license and all this other shit. She do fraud. She trying to make her come up on Bravo right now. Y'all know that girl ain't got no money. And y'all putting that girl on blast like that.
This
Stop it.
might be the nail in the coffin because Bravo got enough money to get in her business. And she might want to fall back. But like I said, I think she's trying to get a settlement. I don't think she's going to get it.
She ain't got enough money to go against Bravo. She not gonna
Um,
get it.
no, no. And I don't, like I said, I don't think they paid Nene. If they didn't pay Nene, they're not paying her.
Child. They didn't pay Nene. They paid Mariah.
Yeah, but they paid Mariah what they owed her. And
Yeah.
she ain't said nothing. Mariah has said nothing.
They ain't paid none of them other people.
I think the difference
Oh,
though is Mariah was like they paid money because she was executive producer, and that was all in contracts and business of what they owed her. The rest of them, hell, I know Caroline Manzo was over there saying that Brandy assaulted her, and I heard nothing else about that. So
you ain't hear nothing else about it, but we ain't get to see that shit either. They ain't show none of it. They ain't got no respect for these girls over here at
no,
Bravo don't.
I don't. What do you think about Monique coming back to Potomac?
I don't understand why. I don't want to see Monique.
She's coming back as a friend of.
Is she coming back? Can y'all bring Katie back dating her husband?
Katie can't come back because Katie is in rehab and Katie is pregnant.
But by who? I
I don't
thought
know.
Katie was dating her husband.
No, that's not true.
That
Even
wasn't
Katie
true.
said no. Katie was just talking shit. Yeah,
Oh, girl.
Katie has turned herself into a rehab facility, and yeah, she's pregnant. Katie going through it.
Well, Katie got mental health issues though, for real.
But I was like, okay, so Monique is coming back. Is she coming back as Ashley's friend? I don't like Ashley or Giselle, so it doesn't matter. Like, I don't like either one of them.
So
But
they bringing her back and they bringing Candace back.
Candace ain't coming back.
I thought I seen that Candace was coming back.
Mm-mm. No, it's Giselle, Wendy, Stacy, Ashley. Um, who else was there? Karen is not there. Maybe Kierna. I think she still got her flute. And then uh Monique is gonna be a friend of.
Well, she gotta be a friend of Ashley, cause who else is she friends with?
Yeah. Mm. I can't stand Ashley. So like I said, it don't matter.
Have
Um
you watched that show her and Giselle is on? Cause I can't watch
I
it.
have not. I have not. I turned it off. I don't care. Not interested.
It's so I can't either. I haven't even made it, but I was like, who wants to watch? I haven't even really attempted. I think it was on my TV for like 1 minute because I ain't changed the TV or something. But I'm like, are y'all even buying this? Like, are they're really not on here looking for love? This is
No,
just
no.
some
It
dumb
was something
shit.
they made up. I think Bravo made up. I did watch the one with the next generation with the kids. So
I think I am gonna watch that. What day do that come on?
I don't know. I watched it on YouTube.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, because we watch these kids grow up. So
Girl, Ava. I want her to quit being on shows though.
Damon Dash's
Ava look,
daughter.
that's Janet's daughter. That's what they saying.
I said Damon Dash daughter. I didn't
Oh,
say
that you
Janet.
said Janet.
Uh-uh.
Yeah. It seemed real desperate to me. Like she's really want to be a reality star. Like she keep popping up on all of these shows. Even um the Real Housewives
Hills.
Beverly Hills. She was
Yeah,
popping up in the background. I'm tired of seeing her pop up. She doesn't have that type of personality to be on the show.
she doesn't. And these kids have all been friends for real. I don't know that she's been their friend. She seems like she's just an implant.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
don't yeah, I want her to quit being on
WBC
shows.
Rachel Zoe is gonna be on Beverly Hills Housewives.
Is it her Baba?
No, Rachel is the one that used to have the show back in the day. She's a stylist. Did you used to watch that? It was her and Brad, and she's like a stylist to the stars, and she's married to Roger, and she had those two kids, and Rachel walks around like with her Starbucks all the time, and yeah, she's embedded in Hollywood. She had her own show. Her assistant Brad Goretzky, I think, ended up having his own thing, and they fell out. So she'll be interesting in addition to the Housewives because she's been around for a while.
She on Beverly Hills Housewives?
Yeah.
I have to look her up.
And she had her own show back in the day. So I used to watch her show.
Hmm.
Well, y'all, that's all we got. We just rambling at this point. They ain't giving a whole lot. Seems like everything they're giving it on the other side, outside on the internet, on their own podcast and things. So I did watch Kenya's latest YouTube video. She looks beautiful. I feel like Kenya is she should go ahead and just lead into the beauty brand thing. She should go ahead and make sure, you know, she take advantage of this moment to get her beauty brand out there.
Yeah, that's what she's known for anyway, is her
Yeah.
beauty. So
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah. So
That's
that's
one
it,
thing. That's one thing that ain't declining is that face card. Y'all can say what y'all want to say
if you
about
look
Port.
at
I
her
mean about
videos,
Kenya.
like, damn, I don't know who shot it, but it's gorgeous.
Mm,
She looked good.
mm.
She had, the. Isn't it interesting that Brit Eady is suing Bravo and all the, subsidiaries, but she ain't suing Kenya? I didn't see Kenya's name in the lawsuit.
Well, she wants the money. That's what it was about anyway.
Right.
She knows she ain't gonna get no money going after Kenya. And she don't like the black backlash that she got. She knows she looks stupid. She knows she can't win that case if she went after her anyway.
I feel like that's why she's suing. Is she slow? She's suing because she looks stupid.
Yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes. And she got a stupid husband who's sitting up there backing it off. Yes.
I feel like them skeletons gonna fall up out of the closet over there at Brit Eady's
They
household.
some scammers. Him and
Hmm.
her both. They're scammers. So they doing what scammers do.
They're not very
Scam
smart
on.
ones.
Well, we'll see how this play out. I just wish she would have came on the reunion, but since she ain't, I don't even know what we're talking about really at this point. We're
I
gonna talk
mean,
about the Kenya situation without her and Kenya. That's the biggest thing that happened, but neither one of them is there. Like, okay, Andy, good luck.
we're gonna talk about Portia and Shamia's friendship.
I don't want to. It's over. And I don't want to see Shamia up there crying like the lap dog that she is.
She gonna cry. Are her and Drew gonna have a sing off? Who got the
You
best
know,
sing off?
they said Drew got the best. I don't know why
They
she
be
want to do
dragging
that
these
to
reunions
herself.
out for 4 episodes, 3 episodes. Ain't no way we getting 3 episodes of reunion out of this.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
I'm
No.
gonna say it right now. I ain't gonna promise we gonna be over here talking about all three of them reunion. We'll come for the first one, and then we'll see after that because ain't nobody gonna be wasting time talking about Portia and Dennis and Drew.
Mm, mm.
All right, y'all. That's
Amen.
it. I'm gonna go ahead and try
Bye-bye.
to catch what's left of these BET awards, and so yeah, we'll see you next week.
Peace
Uh,
out.
Ciao.